And in our top business story, First Gulf Bank has announced the latest score of its Wealth Sentiment Index, which is up 0.31% from the previous month. The score was revealed during a ceremony, and it was noted that general sentiment in the UAE remains cautiously optimistic. Huda Abdullah Mohammed, the head of the Emirati segment in FGB, commented that the Wealth Sentiment Index presents high net worth Emiratis and expats in the UAE with a unique insight into the mood of the market. Officials added that the February score indicates a continuing positive outlook in the economy due to a combination of factors, including crude oil prices crossing the $50 mark, which will have a positive impact on the UAE economy, alongside an increase in the Purchasing Managers Index and also stock movements in the country. It was added that at the same time, an increase in inflation and a drop in occupied room nights affected sentiment. The FGB Wealth Sentiment Index was launched in partnership with the research agency Ipsos and insurance provider Generali in January, and measured the mood of affluent investors in the UAE market from a personal and also a business point of view. As the majority of free zones in the UAE are in Dubai, and Dubai's free zones represent over 500 billion dirhams in trade, industry experts attending the big conversation in Dubai highlighted the need to reimagine free zones as innovative hubs to kickstart the next cycle of growth for Dubai and the UAE's economy. While free zones play a critical role in driving the UAE's economic growth, accounting for nearly a third of the country's non-oil trade, representatives of Dubai Airport and Free Zone Authority highlighted that Dubai's free zones have become a major hub for foreign investment. And despite major challenges, Dubai is working towards diversifying its economy to create a sustainable economic future in line with the UAE Vision 2021. Experts highlighted that in order to make Dubai the centre for global innovation, free zones will need to be used in a new way. And one of the theories proposed for free zones in the 21st century was free zones as sandboxes for future growth, which involves the deployment of new lead markets where new innovations can be explored, the implementation of a business-friendly regulatory framework, and also to encourage companies to view free zones as places to customize new products and services within a controlled environment. Other speakers at the big conversation highlighted that although innovations in governance are necessary, they are not always successful, and governments should look at a safe failure approach to minimize damage and maximize results.
Recognising that failure is an inevitable part of innovation, that if you want to learn, you need to probably test a number of ideas and fail and learn and move on. Typically within government, we tend to be very cautious about failure because the people outside of government don't like to see the government failing, and in some cases you can't. So in terms of what my recommendation would be is that if you're going to test things, it's in an environment where it is safe to fail. That by safe to fail is that you do things very small, and that if it does go wrong, it's not going to cause a huge amount of damage. But on the other side, if it works well, it's something you then can start to scale up. I really like some of the things that you're doing in Dubai. I've been involved with an organisation where some people from Dubai come to the UK to an annual awards around ideas, and I've seen some very incredible things that the drones have emerged over a number of years. And in some respects, that I think where you are now, things like the passenger drones have started on small things. So in some of those small things you'll have done will have not perhaps worked, but you'll have learned. But I say it's much safer to learn that in something that's carrying a package rather than someone that's transporting people. So I think in many respects you're doing those things about testing things at a small level before scaling up. So yeah, very exciting things.
DAVSA launched the big conversation in December last year with the aim of building new types of relationships between free zones, their governmental partners and their customers. And this year, 8 key government departments, including the GDRFA and Smart Dubai, have partnered to build a new culture of innovation across a network of multiple interconnected entities and design policies to drive economic growth.
In GDRFA itself on innovation, we have an order from our General Directorate, Major General Mohammed Al-Marri, that innovation is such as an important and any other process in GDRFA. Most probably, we have a special center for innovation, being established like 1 year ago. It has the full equipment about innovation. We invited DAVSA people to have a session on to talk about the big event with the DAVSA people in our innovation center. Today, our government, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, and of course His Highness Sheikh Hamdan, they are focusing on happiness. Most probably, the happiness is a very important point. Our customer happiness, our investor happiness. We in GDRFA, we are trying our best with DAVSA, with the Smart Dubai Smart. We are trying our best to start, to get the investors to be happy from the first impression in the airport, which is us as an immigration. So we have a lot of projects coming on to increase the happiness meter, of course, of Dubai and UAE in general, inshallah.
Big conversation, of course. You know, the reason why we, or the objective behind it is to, to make the procedure much easier. Today, I know that we are, the environment that government provided through the free zones is a very good and ideal, but we are trying always in Dubai, to improve whatever we have it today to make it, better in the future. This is the main reason, and the thing which is very good, in fact, in the 2 or 3 meetings that we had within the last 5 months, that we are not working alone. All the government bodies that providing services to the free zones are sharing with us how to improve the services. On the other hand, also companies that operating within the free zones also part of this gathering. But therefore, I am very optimistic. If we want from the free zones to be, to do much better than what we are doing today, I think we need this type of gathering for the sake of improvement.
Emirates NBD Asset Management has announced a strong performance for 2016, as consistent performance and the continuation of a strong track record saw the firm grow its assets under management by 29% from $2.99 billion to $3.85 billion. The Emirates MENA Fixed Income Fund closed 2016 with an AUM of $149 million, generated a net return of 7.7% for the year. It also outperformed its benchmark by a margin of 2.8%. These results, according to a statement, were achieved primarily by a combination of strong bond selection in the country and an underweight country allocation to Qatar. Meanwhile, the Emirates Emerging Market Corporate Bond Absolute Return Fund delivered one of the highest absolute returns in 2016, generating 14.5% for the year, and paid a semi-annual dividend of 2.5% in December and a total dividend of 5% equivalent for the year. Having benefited from successful stock selection in the UAE and Saudi Arabia, the Emirates MENA Top Companies Fund was up 6.5% for the year, 1.6% ahead of its benchmark. And finally, the Sharia-compliant Emirates Real Estate Fund's portfolio of properties was valued at around $314 million as of the 30th of September 2016. On the 1st of January this year, its residential and commercial property portfolios reached 95.5% and 78.6% occupancy, respectively, with a blended occupancy rate of 86.8% across the fund's full portfolio. The fund paid a semi-annual dividend of 5.85% to income class shareholders in December 2016, equating to a dividend of 5.8% for the year. And the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company has signed an agreement with Vitol, the world's largest independent energy trader, for the sale of up to 528,000 tonnes per year of LPG over the next 10 years. The long-term agreement, backdated to January the 1st, 2017, and which will expire on the 31st of December 2026, was signed on the sidelines of the International Petroleum Week, which is currently taking place over in London, by Abdullah Salem Al-Daheri, who is Adnoc's Sales and Marketing Director, along with Russell Hardy, who is a member of Vitol's Executive Committee. Adnoc has implemented a new strategy, according to Al-Daheri, towards its LPG sales by negotiating longer-term contracts to cope with the oversupply market, especially after the shale gas revolution. This agreement, he said, will create reliable long-term value and maximize gas resources to ensure the company is resilient to future fluctuations in the global energy markets. Vitol's energy assets include over 15.5 million cubic meters of storage across 6 continents. And it also has the only independent, long-standing refinery over in Fujairah.